It's all in the Gemorrah.
30th of December, Rabbi Levitt, Gemorrah.
Hello, Roy. Hello. All right.
Rabbi, are you talking? Because you're muted.
Mute.
Now it's better.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go from the words V'isol Kedaito today. There's really not so many words. We're going to read the words, but it's not so hard to read the words. We just have to know what they mean and what's going on in the Gemorrah, which is a lot harder. But we'll try to do what we could do. As I said, so
Gotta find them.
the Isok Adaita is the first word. It's the sixth word. It's the sixth line from the top of the page. The page is 89a.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
And the first word on that line is Yerashena, Bala. And then we go from there. The Isok Adaita.
All right.
That's where we're holding.
All right, I've got it. Yes.
Okay. So you want to read, Roy?
Okay.
Since you got the place?
The Esau could. Have you got it, Alan?
Got it, Alan?
I think so.
Okay.
It's on the 89A1.
Right.
The last full paragraph. Rav Idi Bar Avin concludes his proof.
Okay. All right. Got it.
So data Resa Lesakana Usha. And if it should enter your mind that there is no enactment of Usha, Ame Yeroshena Ba'ala, why does the Brisa state that her husband would inherit her? Tizaben Kesuboso Legamre. Let her sell her Kesuba completely. Even on the even on the eventuality that she dies first. But the Gemara rejects the proof. Umar Abaya said, I amaru b'nichsei melug. If they stated in regard to the melug property that her sale is valid, Yamaru b'nichsei tzion Basel. Did they state the same in regard to Tzion Basel property?
Okay. So as you can see, the words are very easy to read, and they're very easy to translate.
Stop there, right?
But the understanding of the Gemorrah is not so easy.
Mm.
What is the point over here? What the Gemorrah is doing? So, as you said in the Art Scrolls prefatory remarks over here, Rav Idi is concluding his proof. What is Rav Idi trying to prove?
Where is he?
That can be found by taking a look a few lines above, on the actually at the bottom of 88b, where Rav Idi said, Af ananami tanina. We also learned this way based upon a brisa. Meaning to say, and then he goes ahead and quotes the words of the brisa. What he's trying to do over here, the proof that he's trying to adduce, is that there was and is a enactment of Usha, the Tekanas Usha. Now, what did the Tekanas Usha say? The Tekanas Usha was an enactment that was made really for the sake of the marriage, that the marriage should be, that there should be good feelings between the husband towards the wife and the property that she has, and not that he should have feelings of enmity toward her, that she's trying to pull the rug out from under his feet and prevent him from inheriting her if she should predecease him. So therefore, the Usha said that the Chachamim in the city of Usha, this, by the way, was this was in the end of the Beis Hamikdash Sheni, that the Sanhedrin underwent a certain exile, and this was one of the places that generally the Sanhedrin is housed in the Beis Hamikdash itself, but for whatever reasons we're not going into now, they underwent a self-imposed exile, and one of the places that they exiled themselves to was the city of Usha. So they made this takana for the sake of the marriage, that the husband shouldn't feel enmity towards his wife, and what that meant is that the wife would not be able to sell her property to a purchaser to prevent the husband from inheriting. And so Rabbi Baravin is adducing proof to that enactment from a brisa. And in our Gemorrah that we just read, now what was that? What was that brisa about? That brisa was the case of the Edim Zomimim. The case of the Edim Zomimim was that they testified against this woman that her husband divorced her and he already paid her the ksuba. So basically what they're saying is this wife is not entitled to payment of her ksuba because she already got it. And now when those witnesses were refuted, a second group of witnesses came and said, you were with us in China on the day that you claim that you saw the divorce and the giving over of the ksuba. So now they have to make restitution payment to her, a penalty payment. What they cause her to lose, the Brisa says they caused her to lose her ksuba. So they're going to have to pay the tovas anah of her ksuba, which was not the full amount of the ksuba, by the way. It was a discounted amount.
Mhm.
And so Ravidi Bar Avin is saying over here, and how is it that they arrived at the tovas anah amount that they got to pay her? They said, how much would a person buy if the woman was selling her ksuba right now, while she's still married to her husband? Both of them are alive. How much would a purchaser pay in order to have the rights to receive the proceeds of this ksuba? Well, it's a bit of a gamble. If the wife goes before the husband, then this purchaser gets nothing. The money that he paid to pay for the right to receive the ksuba goes down the drain. On the other hand, if the husband goes before the wife, so then he'll get the proceeds to the ksuba. So this is a bit of a gamble, and therefore there's a discounted amount. We're not gonna pay the whole amount of the ksuba to the wife over here, because it's not entirely clear at this point, while she's still married to her husband, that she's going to get any payment of the ksuba altogether. Okay. So now Ravidi Bar Avin is saying that if you thought that this brisa here is going without takanas usha, it doesn't have takanas usha in mind, that there was no takanas usha when this brisa was written. If that would be so, says Ravidi Bar Avin, so then amai yirashenu bala. How could it be that the husband? How can we entertain the possibility that the husband is going to inherit? Husband won't inherit without takanas usha. Why won't the husband inherit? Because otherwise, now what are we talking about over here? We're talking about. Oh, now here's the catch over here. When we talk about the ksuba, what does that entail? Now, there's three potential parts of a ksuba. There is the 200 that the husband commits in an ordinary marriage, but if the wife was never married before. And then that's one part of the ksuba. It's difficult to say that our Gemorrah is talking about that part of the ksuba, as we will see. Another part of the ksuba would be another part of what the husband would stand to receive if he inherited his wife is the two types of properties that the wife has, that she owned before. Let's just say before she came into the marriage. She owns property. Now, there's two ways that this property can and now when she gets married, so they're going to make a deal. They're going to make some type of an agreement between them in regard to this property. What's the agreement that they could make? There's two possibilities that we've mentioned before. One of them is called Nichse Son Barzel, literally the property of the iron sheep. And then there's called another one called the Nichse Malug. Nichse Malug, how to translate that? About as well as you could translate Tzon Barzel, the iron sheep. Also, it doesn't really mean too much. But what it refers to is that there's a different agreement between them about what's doing with this property. What's the deal? The deal is like this. The husband, since he's the husband, he automatically gets the right to the profits of the property, that the property generates during their marriage. But the question is, what about the ownership of the property itself? Who owns the property? Now, Nichse Tzon Malug means that the wife owns the property. She didn't give the property to the husband. He's got the right to receive the profits that the property generates. Now, if the property goes up in value, if the property goes down in value, who's going to be the one that is going to bear the loss if the property goes down? Or who's the one who's going to reap the profits if it goes up? The wife. It's her property. Now, as far as the ksuva goes, these properties are not directly part of the ksuva arrangement. They're not written into the ksuva. The only thing is that since the husband, according to the Torah, will inherit his wife if the wife predeceases him, so he stands to inherit those properties. But the wife, if she wants to cut him out, she could sell she could sell those Nichse Malug properties, and the purchaser will acquire them free and clear of the husband, even if she predeceases the husband. Even if the husband has the right to receive the profits of the property, but when she passes away, the purchaser receives the profits as well as the ownership of the property itself as well. That's Nichse Malug. So that doesn't really concern us so much as far as this ksuva is concerned. But what does concern us is Nichse Tzon Barzel, the property of the sheep of iron. What is that all about? Over here, what happened is that they made an appraisal of the properties. Let's say that the properties are worth whatever you want, $1 million. How about that? She's got property worth $1 million. Now, they value the property at $1 million. Now what? This is what we said is part of the wife's nedunya that she brings in, that she agrees, that her father agrees, because it probably was his $1 million property, to bring into this marriage. So it's written in the ksuva. It's written in the ksuva. What is it written over there? It's written that this property has been put into the to the marriage, and now really it is essentially owned by the husband. And so if the property goes up in value, and what? It says that the property was valued at $1 million, and that's put in the ksuva. What does it have to do? It's put in the ksuva. The husband, he is basically the owner of the property. He gets the profits of the property. he owns the property, but this property becomes part of the ksuba, in the sense that this $1 million that's written in the ksuba, if the husband has to pay out the ksuba, he's going to have to pay out the 200 zuz of the ksuba plus the $1 million, because he's taken the property and he's going to pay out to the wife the $1 million, because it's written in the ksuba that this property that the wife basically deeded to the husband is worth $1 million. So it becomes written in the ksuba, and if he is going to have to pay the ksuba, now when is he going to pay the ksuba? If he predeceases her or he divorces her. In either one of those scenarios, he's going to pay a ksuba, and that includes the 200 zuz plus this $1 million that's written in the ksuba. But he keeps the property. He's got the property. So now, if that property went up in value, now it's 2 million. So he's done a good deal. But if that property was in a depressed area, and there was riots over there, and there was who knows what over there, and now it's a war zone, and it's very nice. You got property in Vietnam, but it's not worth too very much. So now let's say it's worth 100,000. So he's got a property in Vietnam that's worth 100,000, but he's got to pay his wife's ksuba amount of 1 million. So that's the way Nixay Son Barzel works. Why do we say it's Barzel? Because it's Barzel. It's strong as Barzel for the wife. She's going to get her $1 million because that's how much the property was worth when she brought it into the marriage and gave it to the husband. Okay. So now this over here, this Gemorrah over here is talking about, when it talks about the wife selling the ksuba, let her sell the ksuba. If there's no such thing as the kana of Usha, so then why is the why does the Brisa say that the value of the ksuva is not according to the actual value that is written in the ksuva? Why is the witnesses that were proven liars, why are they only paying her a discounted value of the ksuva? They're only paying tovas and of the ksuva, on account of the fact that if the wife goes first, so the husband inherits. Why is it the husband is inheriting over here? If there's no takanas usha, let her sell it to Zavin ksuvasa legamre. Let her sell the ksuva legamre. Let her sell the whole ksuva in her lifetime, and it'll be a sale. Now over here, the question is, when we say ksuva, let her sell it, what is that referring to? Is that referring to, we got three choices again, right? Is it referring to the 200 of the ksuva? Is it referring to the Nixay Son Barzel properties that are written into the ksuva? Or is it talking about Nixay Malug? But that's what, but in any case, this is this Rabbi Baravin's this is his proof. this is his proof. If it would be that the brisa is not going according to the takana of Usha, so why would the Edim Zomim have to only pay a discounted portion of the ksuva, based upon the fact that the husband is going to inherit her? He's going to inherit that part of the ksuva because she wasn't able to sell it. Let her sell it right now, and it'll work, because there's no takanas usha. Now, if there's no takanas usha, how is it that she's able to sell the property? Okay, so like we said before, we had a Mishnah that we brought from Ksuvas that we said that in the case, now we got to talk about a different case now. We got a father who deeded his property to his son, and he reserved to himself the right to receive the produce of the field in his lifetime, so that he's got something to live on. But he deeded the property to the son. Now, the Gemorrah, the Mishnah said over there that if the son would sell the property outright, even if he predeceases his own father, nevertheless, the purchaser of that property from the son will win out. He'll win he will get the property. Even if the one who sold him the property is the son is no longer alive, and the father outlived him, and the father owned the right to receive the profits of the property, the produce of the property. Because according to Torah law, we're saying that Niksei, that the Kinyan, the father who has the right to receive the profits of the property, does not regard it as the owner of the property itself. So therefore the son could sell the property. Now, so when we come to Niksei son, when we come to Niksei Malug, that's very good. That's the way it should work. That's the way it should work if there's no takanas usha. But if there is takanas usha, so then the purchaser is cut out, because the Chachamim of Usha did not want the husband to get cut out as a result of his wife's ability to sell the property. So they made the husband the Lokeach Rishon. They made him the so to speak, the first one in line, the first purchaser, even before the one who actually purchased the property from the wife. Okay, so we understand, if we're talking about Niksei Malug, that the wife would be able to sell it, and that would be the sale that would be successful. And so therefore, if we see that the Edim are not required to pay the full amount of the ksuva, it proves that there must be takanas usha, because otherwise, why shouldn't she have to only get a portion? She could sell it. She could sell the ksuva right now, and it'll be a full profit for the buyer. He'll get the whole property, just like the Mishnah with the father deeding the property to the son. On that, Abaya says, now we got up to the last few words. Amar Abaya. Abaya says, Im Amru B'niksei Malug, if you're going to say this proof that you're saying that this proves that the brisa had takanas usha in mind in regard to, and you have a proof from the way the brisa says that they only get that she only gets tovas hanov, the ksuva, in regard to the niksei malug, you'd be right. But Yomru b'nixetzon barzel. Would you say that she would be able to sell that part of her ksuva, which concerns the nixetzon barzel property? That she's not able to do. That she's not able to do. So that's that she's not able to do that, and therefore she's only getting a discounted amount in her ksuva from the false witnesses, is not a proof that there must have been a tekanas usha, because in the case of the nixetzon barzel, even if there would be no tekanas usha, still she's not going to be able to sell the nixetzon barzel properties. Those properties are properties that she's only going to get she's only going to get her million. Basically the property themselves. She's not able to sell it because it's basically in the domain of the husband. The only thing she's got a right to receive is the $1 million that was written in the ksuva that the property was worth at the time that she basically gave it to the husband. So she can't sell the nixetzon barzel properties. All she could do is sell her ksuva. And how much is that ksuva worth? Oh, well, that's going to depend upon how whether she goes first or he goes first. And so therefore, it makes perfect sense why the Edim Zomim and the Brisa are going to only have to pay a discounted amount of the ksuva. Because if she would try to sell this ksuva to a purchaser, he's going to say, "Oh, what's in the ksuva?" And she says, "Oh, you got a chance to get $1 million in this ksuva. So wouldn't you want to pay me $500,000 in order to receive the right to get $1 million? Doesn't that sound like a good deal?"
Mhm.
The guy thinks about it and he says, yeah, and what happens if you pass away before your husband? She says, well, in that case, you would lose your 500,000. So he says, thank you very much, but it's not worth it to me. He's not going to give her $500,000. Right? So he's only going to give a discounted amount. In order, he might get $1 million. It's true, but he also might lose that whatever money that he paid her. So that's no proof because of the existence of the nixetzon barzel in the ksuva explains why even if the brisa was not talking about tekanas usha, nevertheless the Edim Zomim are not going to pay any more than a discounted amount of the ksuva, because that's all she could sell the ksuva for anyway. Okay. And with that, we will conclude. And if there's any questions about this Gemorrah, then you could write a letter to Art Scrolls. I don't know how I didn't see how they explain the Gemorrah, but that's how I'm going to explain the Gemorrah.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All the best to everybody. Have a great day.
You two be well. And Met Hashem will see you tomorrow.
It's Hashem. Bezrat Hashem.
Right. See you, Ellen. Bye.
Okay.
Bye, Ellen.
Bye.
Bye, Roy. Bye, Lou.